Our lesson today is grammar. Don't panic. I know that some students, when hearing the word grammar, feel annoyed. They think that grammar is pain in the neck. Pain in the neck is an idiom used to describe something to be bothering or annoying. Indeed, grammar isn't that difficult. I really hope you will have a change of heart when you start to understand and get involved. And to take it seriously, try to have a pen and a paper to write some notes. It will help you to avoid being distracted or absent-minded. Let's start our grammar of today. Now, the first section of grammar is to study two categories, stative verbs and dynamic verbs. I know that some students will be puzzled because they don't know stative and dynamic. No, don't panic, they are just grammar terms. The word stative is very important for me to be familiar with these terms. Stative verbs or non-continuous. We call the stative verbs non-continuous verbs. What is the meaning of a stative? The word stative comes from state or a condition. So they are stative because they express a state. I do not say I am being a girl. I am being a girl cannot work because I'm talking about a state. They are called non-continuous verbs because they do not come in the continuous forms. I don't say I am owning 3 cars. No, they come in the simple tense. I can say I have owned a car or I have 3 brothers. The next point is that they are used to talk about states and situations that continue for a long time. So as in the examples I have just mentioned, let's go to the dynamic verbs. Dynamic verbs means moving or changing. So it's very simple. When a sentence or when the verb expresses an action, simply it's a dynamic verb because it expresses an action, something I do or something changes. They are known as progressive or continuous or action verbs simply because they express an action. They come in progressive or continuous form as well as simple forms. Most verbs are in this category or in this group. They usually involve an action or active process. Do you remember what we have just said? We have said that stative verbs are verbs express a condition or a state that continues for a long time. Some of them are almost never used in the continuous form because we said that they are non-continuous or non-progressive. They should not come in the continuous form. So what if we find some of them in the continuous form? Yes, it happens. And in this condition, they will have another meaning. They will not express the state. They have undefined duration. They can be classified into 4 categories. Later, we will study these categories. What about action verbs? We said that they usually involve an action or active process or an activity which have a start and an end. I can say, I played football or I was playing football. or I am. So it has a start and an end. Here you have a list of so many dynamic verbs that express an action or something we do or change. Take your time and study them carefully. About stative verbs or non-continuous verbs. Here we have some examples. But now these examples are divided into 4 groups. Thinking and perception. Something happens in your mind. As believe, forget, imagine, seem, think, understand. Emotions and feelings. Agree, hate, like, love, prefer. Having and beings. Belong, contain, possess, or want. Senses. Feel, hear, look, smell, taste. Let's take challenge 1 to say if the verb is stative or dynamic. It's an easy task. Come on, it's not rocket science. You say that something is rocket science if you think that it is very difficult to do or understand. But I believe you will do it. You could do it with your eyes shut. Now, your challenge is to decide whether each verb is normally stative or dynamic. Don't be cunning. Now, you have 10 seconds to find out the answer. Have you done your task successfully? I guess yes. Great job. If you want to check your answers, all the answers are in the same slide but upside down. Now, we need to move to the other section of our grammar. The question is, can verbs be both stative and dynamic? I mean, can the same verb work as a stative and a dynamic? Yes, but how? Another main point in our grammar today is the mixed verb. A mixed verb is that verb that can work in both ways. Can work as a stative verb and a dynamic verb as well. A stative verb that comes in simple tenses. Dynamic in continuous form and expresses an action or something changes. Let's study some examples. I think you're right. Think expresses your opinion or a belief, so it should be simple tense or a stative verb. The same verb but in a different tense. I'm thinking of going to the cinema. It expresses a plan under consideration. You are considering a plan, so it should be in the continuous form. Here, it's a dynamic verb. Verb to have. She has a new car. It expresses ownership. When you have a car, you have a car and it continues for some time. She's having a wonderful holiday in Turkey. A current state of behavior that is changeable. So again, a verb expresses a change should be dynamic. Don't trouble yourself. Now you have more examples. In the first sentence, smell. I can use smell in the simple tense. For example, the floor smells good. So it expresses a verb of senses. But in the continuous form, it expresses an activity. I'm smelling the milk to see if it's okay. Next, James is tasting the soup now just to check if it needs more soap. Taste comes in the present simple or in the simple tense because it's a verb of senses. I can say the soup tastes good or the soup tastes delicious. But in the simple, this is in the simple tense. In the continuous form, it expresses an action. He is tasting the soup now. In the third example, it's just my opinion, but I think this holiday package is too expensive. Now when you express your opinion, you say I think. Simply it comes in the present simple. But when you consider a plan that take an action or taking a time, you can say I'm thinking. This cheese smells terrible, but it tastes delicious. Can you know someone? So smell and tasting, simple tense, and there is stative. But they haven't made a decision about it yet. My suitcase weighs over 20 kilos. Weighs, present simple or simple tense. If you look very closely, you can just see the tower in the distance. You see. You are seeing Mr. Day at 4 o'clock. Means having a meeting. The grocer is weighing my vegetables now and then I will be ready to pay and leave. It's an activity. So here I need to pay attention to the verb weigh. Weigh can come in the simple tense as see or taste or smell to talk about my luggage. Weighs. But if I'm doing this activity or this action, I'm weighing my vegetables. Again, I weigh 65 kilos, but I'm weighing the vegetables. This is a difference. Take that one last challenge if it appeals to you. And be honest, don't look at the answers below.